Yep, it says we're live. So here's what we're doing. If you guys get on, please let me know you can see this. I did have to start a whole new one. So I hope that y'all can find your way over to this one. There we are. So it does say live. This is not the exact view that I was hoping for, but we'll make do, won't we? Hey, Monica. So you guys can see the glasses, correct? Monica, I'm going to kind of count on you to help me here because it made me start a whole new live. So this isn't exactly perfect, but listen, we're live and that's the good thing. Okay, guys, glad y'all are here. If you're new to me, I hope that you'll come back and give me another try. Because this whole YouTube thing is a little new to me, even though I've done it a few times now. So let's get started because you guys have probably already tried to find the live and now you've got us. So here we go. Good. Okay. Well, when you're painting on glass, if you're like me, you've probably had one or two that chipped on you and didn't do as well as you hoped. So I'm going to show you the really 3 to 4 things you really need to do when you're painting on glass. And if you'll do these things, you will have a good outcome. I can almost guarantee it. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate that very much. First thing is put on some gloves. So these are just those little neoprene or nitrile, I think they're called nitrile gloves, so they won't bother people with allergies. But, well, actually, this would be the second thing. The first thing is take them to the kitchen and wash them with some good soap like Dawn dishwashing liquid and get them good and clean and dry. And this one is not dry on the inside because I obviously can't get my towel in there, but it is dry and clean on the outside. The next step after you've gotten them good and dry is to take a alcohol wipe or some alcohol on a towel that won't leave lint or anything. Hi, Carolyn. Glad you're here. Thank you guys for sprinkling. I see that and I appreciate it. And I just make a really good pass over anything that I'm going to be painting on with this alcohol wipe and then just set it down and let it dry. So let's go ahead, since I probably have touched these with my bare hands. Our hands have oil on them, and that is probably the #1 reason that people have not had good luck painting on glass, is because just the natural oils from your hand will get on here and keep the paints from sticking well. So, you know, take the time to do these. Oh, I'm so glad, Vicki. Hi, Leanne. Take the time to do these couple of little steps and you'll have such a better outcome and your paint will stay on and it won't come off and you can enjoy these for years or give them as gifts. So now that we've gotten all of the oils off and I've got my gloves on as to not add more oils, now we're ready to begin. Let's see. We'll start on this small one because it looks like it's dry. And if you have any doubt, just dry it real fast. I'll go ahead just in case. Hi, Sherry. I'm so glad you guys are coming on. Okay, now we've got, oh, and I moved my little, here's my little palette. I had to move for the camera to stay in range because it, told y'all it made me start a new live, so I kind of had to move everything up. Now, I'm going to just put out some random paints. This is the other tip for you, is buy glass paint. Don't try to use your acrylics. You can use acrylics, but they're not made specifically for glass like these are. So, you know, you only have to buy a handful and it's totally worth it. So when you're going to paint on glass, you might as well go ahead and do a bunch of things. So you could do, you know, a glass, or it doesn't have to be, I don't even know if this is champagne or what, but it doesn't have to be a fancy glass. It can just be, you know, a regular glass, but you might as well go ahead and do 3 or 4 at a time and make them ahead for gifts. You could do them for birthdays, anniversaries. There's one that I'm dying to do that I saw something like a golf theme, So I really want to do that eventually. A few small brushes, and you want to pull the brushes that you have that are soft. You don't want to use anything, and most of all of mine are soft. I was going to find one that, you wouldn't want to use anything that's bristle, or hard. Most of mine are soft, but I'm looking to see if I have something to kind of show you. I really don't. Soft, anything that you're probably using for acrylic paint should be fine, but just soft bristles, that will give you the best result. And then I am full screen. I'm so glad we got that part right. It's just the scheduled live would not let me go live. So I scheduled it from my phone thinking that it would let me go live from my phone, but it still would not let me go live. So I don't know. Anyway, we're going to start painting. And I'm just thinking on this tall one, I think it'd be really pretty to have our, one of them that I wanted to do today was bluebonnets. So I'm going to grab a little palette knife and we'll take some blue and mix a little red with it and get a second color. I'll use this blue, but also, you can mix your paints and come up with another color or two. That'll give us some kind of purple. Might even add just a little white to it. So you don't have to, buy every color they have unless you just want to. You can mix your colors just like you always do to get other colors. These are the only ones that I own right now. Some of mine had gotten, they were really old, so I just went and bought some new paints to use for this. So let's start at the bottom. Whenever I do bluebonnets, I will grab the darkest color and then touch into my blue and just kind of start down here. And we want thin coats so that you can do a coat or two. Let's see, can y'all see if I put this down like this? There's a little delay on my end. But I'm looking to see, hopefully y'all can see that. And just, light coats to start with is best so that it will dry quick. So if you notice, I'm going into the darker, going into the blue, and just putting that down. And bluebonnets, they kind of grow wild, a lot of times they're straight up, but sometimes you'll have some rogue little petals. So I like to do some in mine. Like so. You had me pulled up on the TV and it was stuck in, Carrie, I don't know why it would not let me go live on that. I had scheduled it earlier, and when I came in here to go live, it would not, it just, it didn't even give me an option. There was no button, no nothing. So I was frustrated. I had to start a whole new, this is just a whole new thing. That one's going to probably sit there all day. I don't know. So anyway, that's kind of what we've got going here for this one. And I usually leave about a thumb, or you could do more if you want, so that if somebody is going to drink out of this, it won't be right up on their lips. Even though this is non-toxic paint, I still just do that. I'm in the habit of it, and I think it's what we should do. I don't think you should have it go all the way to the top. So I'm going to dry this off. And we are going to add a little bit of white and green, because at the top of bluebonnets, it's usually a really pale green. So let's kind of get that. I'm going to pull a little more white. And I'll dip it into this little pale green and some white and do a few up here like this, kind of coming down into, because like I said, it usually starts with that kind of pale green. So we've got a few of those up there. Then we're going to take some green and just kind of do a little stem. Again, go more for thin. You know, you don't want to keep trying to do too many layers on it. Just do it thin like this and then let it sit until it dries. Then you can do another layer. Hi, Inga. Hello, Mary. Glad y'all are here. Okay, let's kind of keep going around the glass, and we'll do another one over here, and we'll have it look a little different, just kind of growing different, and just little thinner brush strokes. You're not going for good coverage, okay? You're just going for the design right now. Oh, and you can put a piece of paper with a design under here. Let me show you. So like the other day, we painted the little dragonfly. You could put that under your glass and use that as a guide. We might do that on the next thing. Or you can tape it under there instead of trying to hold it as you work. How's everybody's day today? Hi, Celeste. Did you guys see Monica in the event on Sunday? It was yesterday, wasn't it, Monica? I was so sorry that I missed you. We had a late lunch, and I don't even know what, the day just kind of got away from me, to be honest. But I did get to see her replay, so go back and watch it if you missed it. A little bit more green in this one. So let me know if you guys do the little things that I'm telling you. Have you done that when you paint on glass? Because it really does make a huge difference. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. Now, this one is still not quite dry, so I'm going to set this aside. We'll work on another one, and that's why I say it's good to work in batches when you're doing these, so that you can set it aside, let that dry, and then do your next one. So why don't we do this on here? That would be cute. And I am going to do some wildflowers on this one. I'm going to grab my tape. Now another trick you can do, if it's going to be a drinking glass, you can do this and tape to remind you not to go that high. And this tape is just about the right, you know, see? So it doesn't even have to be neat. You're just reminding yourself not to go that high with it so that it won't be where people's mouth is when they're drinking. Just kind of a little reminder. See, okay, well, I'm glad you're here so you can hear these tips, because this will definitely help you. The main things, if you weren't here right when I started, is having really clean glass, then putting on gloves, and then using an alcohol wipe to really clean the glass, because you've carried it now and the oils from your hands are on it. So have it super clean while you have gloves on so that you're not putting oils back on it. That's the real important piece. So just take it and do this. Now, if it's a really big design and you need it to kind of curve around your cup, then you can kind of cut slits in it so that it will bend and move how you need it to. But this one is small and it will be fine. But I'll show y'all how you can do this just to show you. So then you've got it kind of right here, and it's, you know, obviously not a problem. You don't have to try to curve it around. It's going to be good just like this. Let's see what colors we want to use. I'm going to use some yellow. And I did put just a little bit of white in this. This yellow is not super translucent. However, anytime you'll put just a little bit of white, it does help. And we'll just kind of follow along. And you don't have to follow it perfectly, of course, but it does give you a nice little guide so that you're not just freehanding unless you just want to. So maybe you want to do your daughter's college team or your son or grandson's high school mascot. You know, you could do so many things and just use the little printout as a little guide. You missed the beginning. This is another important thing. I'm using glass paint. So this is Deco Art glass paint, and those are the tricks, you know, is actually using paint that is specifically for glass. That is very important. I never just use regular acrylic paint. I mean, I probably have if it wasn't important, but if it's something I'm going to sell or give to somebody, then I definitely use this brand of glass paint because it just is made, it's got stuff in it that binds to the glass, and you don't have to put any base coat or anything. And then maybe orange. So we could take some of that yellow and a little red and do an orange for something different. Now, if you're in the VIP group, you guys already have this tracer because I made it for you. You've got the big one, but then you've also got one that's ATC size, and that's what this is. And I'm just using that number 1 round that I have just fallen in love with. I will put all the supplies that I'm using today in the description of this video. We are open now for the VIP group. So if you want to learn to paint or create glass art using resin and crushed glass and hand cut glass, then you want to get in there, and I provide a tracer and supply list for every single thing we make. So I'm going to give you all the supplies on here as well today. It makes it really nice and convenient so you don't have to go hunting for supplies or trying to figure out where to go to get them. You can just click on that and see. So we've got our wings. Oh, you do? Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Let's do a green body. Any colors you want to use, you know. Yeah, that'd be fun to go to. We've got a butterfly festival going on here at the Botanical Gardens, which is next door to the zoo, and I really want to go to that. We went a long time ago and it was so nice. I wasn't thinking the lily pad, you know, I'll go ahead and paint it, but I wasn't really thinking how that was going to be a lot of green in it. I'm putting a little blue in it. I'm going to put a little white in it. Probably some yellow. Oh, that's cool. I love nature and seeing those kind of things. See how nice the paint goes on? And remember, we're not going for full coverage right now. We're just getting the base on, because the key, another key to painting on glass is don't try to get it too thick. Thin, you know, a couple of thin coats is best. And I even teach that with acrylic painting, you know, to do layers. Do one layer, let it dry, do another layer. I might change up his head color so that it's different than this lily pad. I bought the whole set in these brushes, and I'm so glad I did. I love them. Hi, Sydney. How are you tonight? Happy Monday. You don't want any extra water on your brush, so, you know, when you dip it in your water to clean it, then you just, you know, dry it off on something. And I'm going to load on some yellow and come again and put another thin coat. Did I just see a heart flow by? Thank y'all. That caught my, kind of in my peripheral vision. I didn't realize we'd get those over here. Oh, I uploaded another video today. I uploaded painting the bee on the flower and cut out all the talking, so it's a much quicker video, about 30 minutes, I think. Mixing up a little more orange. Oh, thank you, Leanne. That is so important. Yes. You want to comment and hit the little like button, subscribe if you haven't, so that YouTube will see that people are interested, especially since I had issues today. That's a huge strike against me, so we got to make that up. I got to get back in their good graces. Okay, I can't do any more. I don't want to overload it with, you know, like I said, do several layers. Let's change this to turquoise. Oh, that's cute anyway, having a little turquoise head. I like that. And then we'll put a little turquoise, you know, into his body too. That is pretty dry. Thank you, Mickey. How are you tonight? And thank you for your message earlier. I sure do appreciate you guys keeping me in the loop. I have really not been on Facebook all weekend, except I did see Monica. I think you're probably the only one I was able to watch. Now, if you don't let your paint dry, you'll end up kind of moving it around, and I kind of did that right here. So I'm going to try to lay down some paint and then leave it be. Just leave it be, because like I said, you'll have such a better outcome if you paint on your first coat and let it completely dry. And that way you're not moving it around when you're doing your second coat. So I need to just let this dry. It looked like it was, but it wasn't. So we're going to go and do another part of this glass. We'll just move it around. We can take our little design off, our little template. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. And let's do, what other kind of flower do we, oh, let's do a daisy. So daisies, they're going to have a little green center and some yellow, so we'll do a little green. Let's do a couple. We could do a little poppy, since I've got all that red there. Grab a little white. So for a poppy, we're just going to put down kind of a round circle to begin. And we'll need to let that dry or dry it. I honestly think that everything I do has a better outcome if I just let it dry. But we'll use our heat tool. Just kind of help it along. But part of our issue is not being patient, you know. And if you'll be patient and just let it dry natural, I think it gives you a better outcome. So anyway, here's our little circle. I'm gonna start with a daisy, another daisy. Let's do maybe a pink flower if we can get a good pink. I know I'm using my brush to mix. It's not a lot of paint, so I'm not too worried. But you know, I should use my palette knife. I think these are super sweet for birthday gifts because they know you took the time to do it, you know. And it's literally $1.25 if you get your glass from the Dollar Tree. So we'll mess with this little daisy over here. Hold, please. Needed a little bit bigger palette because I'm messy. Okay, so for our daisy, let's get out some clean white. And I'm gonna pull some off to the side with a little yellow in it. And see if I can do these petals where y'all can see pretty well. Now, like I said earlier, it's best to kind of put on a thin layer, let it dry. I'm kind of pushing it by going over this again. I don't want to just move the paint. Okay, let's let that dry. This is definitely a step-by-step kind of thing. You don't want to rush it, so I'll let that dry. Let's work on our poppy. Y'all still there? I'm going to put more of the red kind of coming around. I don't want to go over what I have if I can help it. And what I mean is to go outside of what I've got. I want to try to keep it right here on within the circle that I've already got. And I'm going to take that with just a little white, if I can pick it up. Yeah, there's a little white there. And start this other petal here. And this time I'm going to pick up just a little yellow. And I'm pushing paint. I can see right there. So I've got to just put this on and let it sit. It's going to have to dry. Let me grab a paper towel. Yes, a mug would be great. I know that's probably still tacky, so I won't tackle that. We can do some see if we can get a purple out of that. Oh, I want to go over that, but I'm afraid it's not quite ready. I can do that little daisy here. So again, I want my base to stand out a little bit from the petals, so I'm going to do a little light yellow. Can y'all see? I hope so. Oops. Be careful where I lay that down. We can definitely put some little greenery, so just, you know, some little petals here and there on the glass. And I'm going to take our yellow and put some texture into that center. I'm just tapping. See if I can hold that to where y'all can see a little better. There's such a delay that I still don't see what y'all see yet. We're going to set this aside and come back to our little blue bonnet. So my second layer, I'm just going to do the same thing where I pick up a little bit kind of purple, a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and then we'll kind of come back over. You don't have to hit every one, you know, it doesn't have to be right on top of what you had, just kind of add some more little petals up in here. I love the variety of colors you get. A little bit of super light green. We're going to add a little bit of that back up in here, just a few. It's usually not very much, about like that. I think I'm going to make a little more. Hope y'all are feeling relaxed watching this. It's relaxing to paint it. I'm coming back and taking some of that turquoise and just kind of popping it down. Because it's my favorite. I love that blue. You can even pop in little bits of green, like, you know, as if you're seeing some of the stem kind of coming up through there. Okay, let's give everything a second coat over here. Oh, does she? Oh, I love blue bonnets. I love them. You should do one for her. Okay, let's grab some yellow. Putting just a little bit of white with it. What else do we need yellow for? That's going to be more white. We could go ahead and do one with more yellow. I'm going to add a lot of white so it doesn't have a lot of yellow though. And we'll go ahead and do one of our daisies in this pretty kind of yellow. Move around here. So we've got a little green showing, not a whole lot. If I had put 2 layers of green, it'd show more. So I'm just going to go over this with yellow, and a little bit of green will show there on the edge. And then I want some fresh white so that I don't have yellow all in it. And this will be more of our classic white daisy. They're so fun to do. I mean, I could sit and do these all day. Oh, I love the white daisy. And then let's just kind of take a look around and see what else we need. We need some of this green. I can tell that that's not fully dry, but you do really want to wait for it to dry before you do your second coat. We're just, we're going ahead with it so I can show you more of a finished look. But the key is patience. If you can just be patient and let it dry before you do your next coat, that's how you get it to last forever. And of course, don't wash it in the dishwasher. You can cure it in the oven, and then, you know, you are able to wash it in the dishwasher. However, I just don't. I just don't think, as hot as they get, that it's good. But if you'll just bake it, once it's 100% dry, so I wait a couple of days, and then I will bake it in the oven at 275 for about 30 minutes, and put it in the oven when the oven is cold, and then turn the oven on, let it heat up, and cook for about 30 minutes at 275, and then let it, turn it off and let it cool back down while it's in there. And don't peek. Don't open your oven at any point. Just let it do its thing. And that's another way to get a really good permanent curing on it. This is not dry either. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of heat, although I really don't like doing this. So I don't recommend using heat. I recommend just letting it dry on its own. Give it the time it needs. We'll try on here. Coffee filter with alcohol to clean. Yeah. I don't want any of that blue. I'm trying to wait as long as possible because my glass is hot. Taking just a touch of black, the red. I'm going to try to draw a little petal on here if we can without moving our paint around. It's probably about as good as I can do. I'm going to take a little black. I really need to lay that down, but I can't. Yes, I used to use, you know, back when we got newspapers, I used to use newspaper. Thank you, Brenda. We'll have a few floating like that little daisy can just float. Now, let's do a few fun things. I know it's not dry. We're going to be really careful, I hope. Now, a pretty thin layer to give some highlights. We did it. I can tell I messed that one up right here. Probably laid it down. And if you do it quickly, you can take it off with alcohol, so we'll try that. See, it's a good thing about having these little alcohol wipes handy. Now, when this is all dry, you can come back and add layers, you know, another round of layers. No, I don't think it still comes around, does it? That's hilarious, isn't it? That we used to sit and read the paper. So pretty. See, drinking out of this, or this is actually not a drinking glass. This is more of a votive holder, I think. But wouldn't it make you feel good to drink out of a pretty glass, or be given this with a little votive candle in it? And then you can just light it whenever you want to. And or put a little citronella candle and put it outside. Couldn't probably leave it out there, but you could take it out when you go sit outside. Uh, oh, I like that orange in there. I just was using what's here on my palette, and it's got a little orange in it, and I like it. That turned out pretty. One of the towns we lived in, I used to stop by. I mean, I only had to do it a couple of times. And they'll give you, or the newspapers would give you the last of their roll, so of the newsprint. So they want, like a big old roll. And so when it gets down to just a little bit, they know they can't print much on it, so they just threw them out. And I'd go by there and ask for, and they'd say, take as many as you want. And they'd have like a whole stack of them, but I only wanted one. I mean, one lasted me forever. And we used it when we moved. I used it with the kids to let them color on. So, it was kind of nice. But yeah, I don't think that they even do newspapers anymore that I know of. Tell you what I'm going to do on this one is add just a little swipes of red. So go into my white and then dip into the red just barely. Let's see if we can put a little bit of swipes in there. Hope y'all can see. Thank you. I'm going to cover a little bit of that blue. I like the blue showing, but without the blue water, it might not make as much sense, is what I was thinking. Okay, then we could make a little, now once this completely dries, you could use a permanent marker like a micron or a pit pen, but I'm going to use black paint, and I'm thinking maybe even go to a smaller brush here. I use that one brush for everything until we're getting down to this, I think. Ooh, dots would be cute on here too. I think. Dots might be cute. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on who it's for. Let's take that tape off. It's kind of hard to tell. Tape is just to remind us not to go that high if you want to keep it, you know, if it's a glass and people are going to drink out of it is why you would want to tape it. But that's kind of cute. I think I would want to use that outside. I think that would be cute. I just can't decide if I want, no, lines. I keep picturing dots. I think I'm going to do dots just for fun. And little ones right up close and then get bigger. Okay, let's see. Whoop. Look, but don't touch. Okay, let's see. Can y'all see? I don't know which way is the best way to hold it. So I would let this sit and dry until like tomorrow night, and then I would put it in a cold oven and let the oven warm up. You know, put it in a cold oven, put these inside, and let them sit there just on a cookie sheet like this, and let them warm up to 275 for about 30 minutes, and then turn the oven off, but don't open it, and let the oven cool down with them inside. And then after a few hours, just be patient. That's the key, be patient. After a few hours, then take them out and they will be permanently cured. You could use them put them in the dishwasher after that. So that's kind of a nice thing. However, even when I've done that, I never did put them in the dishwasher. You know, I just still hand washed them. Okay, thank y'all so much for being here. You guys liked it? I hope so. Thank y'all for being patient with the video issue I had, and I'm glad y'all stuck it out and hung out. Have a wonderful evening. If you're in the VIP group, I will see you live tomorrow at 2. And otherwise, what are you doing? Get in there with us. Oh, you're so very welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful Monday night, and I'll see some of y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.